Hi, it's Richard Oceguera, and welcome to the first newsletter of 2014 for the Richard Oceguera coaching community. For those of you who have been members of the newsletter and have been following me, thank you and welcome. And I know that there's a bunch of new people who just came on board just recently who are now part of the community, so welcome to you. Thanks for being a part of it. And you know, it's my first newsletter doing a video message, and you can get used to this because the feedback I've been getting from you all is that you want to see more of my face on camera. And okay, you win. And it was part of my plan anyways, but I heard enough feedback that I'm jumping in. So here we go. In the beginning of each newsletter going forward, I'll have a video message, and also I'm really excited to announce that starting next month, I'm launching my Mindful Entrepreneur video interview series, and I will be interviewing the coolest, most innovative, spirit-led, most brilliant entrepreneurs that I keep coming across, not only in New York, but all across the country and actually all around the world. So stay tuned for that. Now, I want to just share with you a message and give you a little bit of an update. If you've been following me on my personal Facebook page, or if you read the holiday announcement that I sent out, you saw a list of things that I did last year in 2013, and one of them was adopt Ted, the dog. Well, I want to give you a little update and tell you how that relates to one of my core or guiding principles that I selected for this year. One of them is clarity, that I want to really have clarity in everything that I do and be able to, that includes being able to make a decision and just making the decision and then making that decision right. So I found Ted through an adoption event and brought him home, and I was so excited about having him. He's a beautiful dog. He was a silver gray Labrador mixed with I don't know what. And these golden orbs for eyes, and very sweet and loving. And the first night I brought him home, he literally came up on the couch next to me and just put his head on my lap and went to sleep. And I just thought, wow, I really got so lucky. This is an amazing dog. That same night I taught him sit, and by the next day he had learned down, and he had learned nice, and all the types of tricks or commands that you need to teach a dog right away. He just picked everything up just fast. And I thought, wow, this is going really great. Well, after about a week and a half, I noticed that he started to get a bit aggressive, and he started using his mouth more, and not just the puppy type of biting, but kind of putting his teeth on me. And it became more and more evident that he was becoming more aggressive. He was a very dominant dog, and there was nothing I could do to really tire him out ever, and he really continued to assert his dominance. And I can be very dominant. I've raised many puppies, actually, several puppies I should say, and I know how it works. But this guy really just had this indomitable will to be the guy, and cool, we'll deal with that, we'll work that out. Well, it just kept getting worse and worse, to the point that if it wasn't winter, if we weren't in an Arctic vortex, and I didn't have layers of clothing on, that his biting would have drawn blood. And I became very concerned, because here I had made this commitment. I had adopted a being, a sentient being, an animal, and said that I would take care of him. And now it wasn't going the way I thought it was going to go, and I became very conflicted about this. So I tried to work with him and talked about it with some professionals, and we agreed, he's a puppy and he's getting acclimated, and he'll get better. But instead he kept getting worse, and it got to a point where it was untenable. So I had to make a choice. I had to make a very hard choice, and the choice was that indeed I needed to take him back to the animal shelter. And the owners of the shelter agreed that possibly, it's rare they say, but possibly he's one of the dogs that needs to be rehabilitated before he can really be in a home. the other thing is he's a big dog and he's also very energetic. And I think he should be on a cattle ranch in Montana, truthfully, not in New York City. He needs to run free for a long time every day. And I think it was a combination of things. So last Sunday, I took him back, and we're in the back of a car service car, and he's being so sweet, and he has his paws on me, and he's licking my face, and every minute that went by, I knew we were getting closer to me having to say goodbye to this beautiful being that flew into my life and kind of rocked my world. And we get to the adoption, to the animal rescue facility, and I have to fill some more paperwork out, promising or saying that I can't have him back if I change my mind. This is it. It was really hard. And they took him from me while I was filling out the paperwork, and he was acting so sweet in that moment. So I got to say goodbye to him and wish him much love and look into those eyes one last time, at least one last time in person. And I left the shelter. And I got into the car, and I basically kind of broke down. And later, when I finally came back home that night, everywhere I looked in my apartment, I saw Ted. On the couch, on the bed, on the floor, his food bowls, his fur. Everywhere I look out on Roosevelt Island, out of my windows, I can see all the spots that I took him to walk. And it was just like, wow, what did I do? And it was very hard, and I cried, and I've cried multiple times because he really took a spot in my heart. And yet I knew, I was clear that I had to let it go. He served a purpose. And the more I spoke to the people in my life who are my spiritual kind of friends, they all said something very similar, and they don't necessarily know each other. They all said, Ted, perhaps, was a messenger for you. He came to teach you something and to show you something, and then it was time for him to go. And I really believe that, because when he went, what came up for me was a lot of hidden and uncut and covered up feelings and emotions about other separations in my life that I hadn't dealt with. And I've done a lot of crying and a lot of healing as a result. And I have to say that I believe if Ted hadn't jumped into my life, literally, that I may not have seen those things so quickly and so clearly. And so what happened was this experience with Ted gave me clarity. I had to make a hard choice, and I was clear about that choice. And the absence of Ted has shown me all the places that I hadn't looked at that needed some healing. And it made me think about my business too. Where in my business am I maybe holding on to things that don't serve me anymore? Maybe they did for a while, or maybe they never did, but I acquired them and now they don't serve me. And where else in my personal life do I have things that don't serve me? So this whole experience with bringing Ted into my life and then releasing him back out has really resonated with this concept of clarity, and has helped me to heal and to look at all areas of my life, in particular my business, for the things that don't serve me and that I can let go of with integrity. And I say with integrity because regarding Ted, when you adopt a dog, at least at this facility, they tell you and that you sign an agreement that says if you can't keep the dog after all, you must bring him back to us. You can't just take him anywhere. And so that's what I did. I honored the agreement. And, where in your business are you holding on to things that don't serve you anymore? Where in your business is it time to let something go? Maybe it's a client. Maybe it's a service you signed up for because it sounded good, but you've never used it. Maybe it's a newsletter that you don't ever read and you just delete. Where can you find the things that maybe once served you but no longer do, and you can go ahead and give them back and exit those relationships with integrity? And where in your personal life might you have those same things? It could be people. It could be emotions that you're holding on to that previously comforted you or kept you safe. or kept you angry and distant from people. Take a look in your life to see where you can have some clarity, where TED can also help you, shine a light on the things that no longer serve you. So that's my message for you today. It's about clarity. It's about being willing to let the things go that no longer serve you, that are no longer working for you, no matter how hard it is, and doing it with integrity. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this video. And I encourage you, because you're now not on my newsletter anymore, to go back to the newsletter and to read the rest of the information. I have a program that's launching on January 15th called Show Up for Success. We have a few spots left. You can see information on the newsletter about that, and I would love to have you. If your goal is to become a master, to have mastery in the art of connecting powerfully with people, networking, to build your business, then Show Up for Success is for you. I'm going to show you everything that I have learned over the last 10, 12 years about networking, and it's going to rock your socks. So you want to be a part of it. And there's some other exciting announcements in the newsletter as well. So that's it. Happy New Year. Shine the light on those areas that don't serve you. Let TED also be your guide. And thank you very much. Take care.